Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Reseller Information Network. Here with our co-host today, over the years, Cernock and Leroy here hanging out. So we've got all kinds of good stuff coming to you today. We're going to answer some questions that have been dropped in the chat about custom SKUs, about some weird items, and we also got a special bolo, $800 plus, that you will not want to miss because it could be setting in your garage or basement. You want to make sure you stick around for that. So we're going to dive right into some comments. This past week, as you know, we had Hat Camp. And man, if you have not watched Hat Camp, I encourage you to go back and do that. Lots of great information about how to restore hats and how to bring them back to life for sure, and increase your sales value on those items as well. So go back and watch that if you haven't. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you can fix that right now. Go ahead and hit that and hit the bell up in the corner. You'll get notified. We go live every Tuesday. So do want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Let me share a couple comments real quick. Mayberry Picker was at Hat Camp and he said, "Hey, thanks for all your information, guys." There was numerous Hat Camp things because we actually gave away some hats. So see, that's why you don't want to miss out on Tuesdays, because you never know what's going to come down when it comes to those things. But make sure Italian MN, and we're going to answer this question here in just a second as we dive into our 101. You had a couple of questions. One is great show, very helpful info. This is talking about tools, Leroy. So he said, great show, very helpful info. I see Leroy listing using custom SKUs. Can you talk about it? So we're going to go ahead and dive into that in our episode section, the 101.
What's going on, guys? So I do use custom SKUs for all of my items. A lot of people use them for certain items in certain areas. For me, I use them for every item that I list. Even if it's an item that I have that is the same item, but just slightly different. I feel like I don't want to mix up anything. So I do pitches for everything. Unless it's like a box of screws, it's all exactly the same screw, and I'm selling them one or two at a time. Then I'll use one SKU that I'll stretch out. But besides that, I try to use different SKUs on all of my stuff. If you look behind me over here, I do have my boxes, and you'll see there's 4 boxes on each shelf. Each shelf has 4 boxes. Those boxes, this is the cardboard box in front of it, they'll have numbers on them. So usually it will start 200, it'll be 201 to 225, 250 to 251. This is 251 to 275, and then 275 to 299. That's one shelf, okay? And inside of it, this will have, sometimes I can't fit all 25 items. I tried to put the smaller ones in this box itself. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea of what I was talking about, where items are the same. So I have these heads here, and these heads are for a trimmer. Well, I have 3 of them. Okay, now on this one, I did mark them 258 small. SB is small box, and this one is 258 as well, but it's 2 of 3. So I knew that I had 3 of them. Okay, on that one I did use the same number and just made sure that I put 2 of 3. So if I sell one, I know I have 2 left, or so on and so forth. Then in my bigger box that's to the side of me here, I have other items. So this is just 155. I put the size of the box, this box that I'm selling, I put the size on the tag. I use that little tag. And then I put P-box. So I know it's a priority box. I have this light here, and it has a custom SKU on it. What I do when I do my custom SKUs, when I take the pictures, I check my ounces and my weight. So if you look there, it says 10 OZ, so 10 ounces. So I know this item is 10 ounces, right? Right from the beginning, I already know that that item is 10 ounces. It's very easy for me to find stuff. And once I show you this next item, I'll go into another way that the custom SKU helps me when it comes time to relisting. So I have these pieces of copper, okay? This one and this one, I believe, are both very, I could have did one listing, but they're actually different. So what I did was I did 154 and 153. Excuse that three on there, guys. That's a crazy one. Um, but like I was showing you before, what I do is everyone has a different number. So if I sell one, I know, okay, I didn't sell you 153, or if I shipped the wrong one. So say for instance, I shipped them 153, and I'll ask them, hey, what tag is on your product when you got it? Because I don't take the tag off. They say, oh, it says 153. Okay, so you did get the wrong item. Like, you're not joshing me. You actually got the wrong item, because I know it was 153, or 154. Now we're going to go into, I'm just going to show you guys inside of, let's see here. Okay. 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 Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Or not that good? Is that better or worse?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Okay, so you guys, this is the copper I was just showing you. And then here you'll see these are my SKU numbers on the side. Now I'm gonna click into this item here. Now, if you look at right in it, it has the number. So there's 156. It's inside my header picture. So if my SKU is not on there, on that side where the SKU column is, I can look at the picture itself, and I know that item is item number 156, and there's 16 pieces. So I don't mix up and give them one of the ones that's only 4 pieces. This one's 6 pieces. So I don't mix up and give them one that's 6 pieces. They're actually getting the one that has 16 pieces on it. I feel that that's very important. When it comes to losing stuff, it's very, very low percentage for me, because I always try to make sure that I check my SKUs, and that's what I'm going to explain to you guys next. Give me 1 second here. I am lost. Okay.
Leroy, if you can back out of that, I know, like when you're talking about people that are brand new, when we say SKU, what he's talking about is that actually, I don't know what the abbreviation actually means, but it means that there is a number in his listing. Could you show that on your eBay? Like, how do you put the number? Where's the number at in the item description? Or
Yeah, let's try it.
just add that one back in.
Give
You
me
can actually
1
revise the
second.
listing.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
stands
Yep.
for
Give me.
stock keeping unit.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Tim.
That's why you have to have people smarter than you on the panel so that they can.
Yes.
We all have our things that we know. So.
I don't feel like Tim is smarter than me, but I do agree with what he said. So okay, so guys, if you look here, this is like I'm gonna do something with the listing. There's my pictures, and then right here, see it says custom SKU. That's where it goes. It's only the third box down, guys. Okay, so you have your title, then you have custom SKUs. Actually, the second box you're gonna use. Okay, you can put, I also know people online that will put where they got it from. Nobody sees this except for you. So you could put, or some people will put what they paid for it. They'll put 25, meaning they paid under 25, or they'll put where it is, what box it's in, and then they'll put how much they paid for it or where they got it. They might put Red House. Well, that means they got it at a estate sale that was the Red House. They know what the Red House is. Does that help, Art?
Yes. for
Okay.
sure.
So so the next thing is, guys, when you're when I go to I'll list I'll list everything. I have one number one all the way to 2,000. Okay, I don't have 2,000 things listed, but I have 2,000 numbers that I can use. Okay, and what I do is once I get to a certain point, like right now I'm at two. I don't want to turn around, but I believe I'm at the 200s. So I will grab a 200 bin. I'm actually going to show you guys. So I will grab a 200 bin and I'll go in it, and this is the stuff that's left in 200 bin. It's probably about 8 or 9 items. I'll take those items and I'll put them on a table. Once I put them on the table, I'll go through eBay. It takes me about a half hour, 40 minutes to do this, but it makes sure that my prices are all set. It takes me about 2 to 4 months for me to go through all my numbers. So it's not something I'm doing all the time, but I'm doing it about 4 times a year. So what I'll do is I'll take this, I'll put all the numbers out, the 25, but there's not 25. Whatever's missing, I write it on a little pad, and I have my little pad here. I write it on my little pad, and then I'll I'll reissue the number. So that just makes it easier. So I write it on a little pad. Okay, these are the numbers that I still have. These are the numbers that I can use, and I'll write the new numbers on another label. I just use my label maker. I just use one of these. I have a lot of them. A friend of mine taught me how to get them free, so it doesn't cost me more. And you can watch that on an episode of Reseller Information Network, and it will teach you how to get free shipping supplies. And all kidding aside, there is a way. If you guys are that new, there is a way to get free shipping supplies. You can ask us on a Tuesday show, but that's what I do. Is I just cut these in small strips. I get about 7 if I do it my way. And I just write down the number. It's easier for me to do that because I can replace the numbers as they get emptied out of the bin. So if I go through the bin and I notice that 8 numbers are missing, I'll say, okay, these 8 numbers that I'm going to list, boop, they go in that bin. I go to the next bin. I check it. I make sure everything's still listed. I make sure the price is correctly. I'll change the pitches. Sometimes if it's really stagnant, I'll change the where it's located inside inside of eBay, the description of where I have it listed. So those are just little ways that I do it, guys. It might not work for you, but somebody did ask in the comments, and to be honest with you, I've had good success doing it. I've been doing it for about 4 years this way, maybe 5.
Mm.
And it does, at the end of the day, it is neat. If you look there, they all have numbers. Every bin is in its place. And I could just go to the shelf if somebody had to come in and do it for me, they can just go and they go to shelf 200 and then just look in it. And sometimes, I'll be doing box 2 boxes a day, and I might put some of the in the box next to it. Well, it's not that bad to find. It might be in one of the other boxes, but I don't have to look in all the boxes most of the time. That only happens once in a while. If anybody has any other questions or any ideas that they've used that work for them, or something that I might be able to help them the way I do it, please send me a message on Instagram or any of these guys, and we could try to give you an idea of how it might work for you. People use different bins. Really quickly, I know people use the bins from Walmart or boxes. These are corrugated plastic. I got them from a business that buys out businesses, pharmacies, and all these different businesses. I think I paid $6, $4 a piece for them. I bought 100 of them. That was probably about 5 years ago. And I'll put it to this way: I've never thrown one away. And I sell tools that don't get too heavy on me. They don't look the best, but I can rinse them out if I need to rinse them out. So just come up with your own ideas of what works for you. Honestly, on these shelves here, I could actually fit 7 rows, but I only have 5 on each one. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. I actually could fit 7. In between each shelf, I actually could put another bin. If I have to like downsize my space wherever my warehouse or whatever, I know mentally, okay, well, how much space do I really need? And that's something that is very important that you should know. We all move. We might have to move. We might have to condense our space. We have a kid now. Give yourself a little bit of extra space in the beginning. When you're starting out, give yourself a little bit of extra space. And somewhere that doesn't have a saw in the background, give yourself one of those too. But give yourself a little bit of extra space so when you do have to downsize, you already accounted for that extra space. You can just go into that space like I said I can do here. But thank you guys for asking. And that one was exciting for me. Hopefully I said it correctly and Eric doesn't have to edit too much. And back to you guys.
Yeah.
Man, I really like, for me, the idea that you're actually going through each one of your listings, like you're basically accomplishing multiple things at one time by the way you're doing it, which is honestly, man, I wish somebody when I started would have took me aside and said, hey, if you'll do this will save you in the long run, because I imagine you don't lose a whole lot of stuff that way because you're going through it constantly.
I'm a rookie.
Yeah, you are.
I think the most important thing about having a SKU system in place is having a SKU system in place. Like because when I first started selling hats, I had a few boxes and they were only like, all right, I had like these little shoe boxes I put 10 hats in. And then put more. And I got to 50, 60 hats. And then I was like, I would sell a hat and I'd be like, ooh, is it in box 5? Is it in box 2? And I would end up having to pull them out, pull all the hats out. Nope, not in this box. Pull this one out. Oh, not in this box. And so I got my son to basically go in and I bought these long boxes, like 33-inch boxes. They fit about 40 hats in each box. Okay. And it's basically, all right, you put it, hey, this is in hat box 1. And I have 40 SKUs that are all hat box 1. Okay. So when I sell a hat, it'll just say hat box 1. So I go to that box, pull it out. Okay. Oh, there's the hat. Pull it out, ship it out. Okay. I've got 25 boxes now, 40 box, that's over 1,000 hats, So you definitely have to do that. And especially with my shoes as well. I have over probably 300-400 pairs of shoes that, currently in my eBay rotation, to where, if I had them in bins and not this and that, it would be all over the place. So what I do is I go ahead and take a step further with my shoes is I box them up already. Okay. And then I write a SKU on there. So I write a column number. Okay. So I've got them all stacked up. If anybody's seen like on Tuesdays, my shoe cave, I've got them all boxed up and they're all in columns. So same thing as the hats where it's, I can have 15 pairs of shoes in column 1. Okay. So it'll just say column 1. So when I sell and then I'll write 1, put a little circle around it, and then I'll write what the shoe is. Yes, it takes a little extra time in the front end, but man, when you sell it and you can walk over and be like, all right, I'm looking for this pair of Allen Edmond dress shoes, size 12 in column 6. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I already have them all numbered, so I can just look at, all right, that's column 6, and I just look down the entire column. All right, now I'm looking for out of 15 boxes is Allen Edmonds size 12. Oh, right there, pull it out. All the boxes drop down. Okay, slap a label on it, and we're good to go. It especially works when you have multiple sales too, where you can just go, okay, all right, I have 5 pairs of shoes to ship out. Here's this one, 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 here's this one. Tailor them all to my shipping station. They already all have what they are on the outside. Sometimes I'll take a marker, if it's a high-end shoe. I don't want the box to say Jordan 1 Retro. So I'll scratch it out or tape over or something like that. But it's so nice where you have 5 boxes right here. Print out your stuff, and then slap it on, and you're ready to go. A lot of people do different things with clothing as well. And that's my last thing with clothing. I have them all hanging in racks, okay, in my ceiling. I made custom racks in my ceiling. So what I've done is I've done each bar. So that, like if you start in my basement, I'll be like, all right, that's bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have little eyelets that hang the bar. So in between the eyelets, I'll name that A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So if you're looking at it from left to right, it's all right. This is A, section A, B, C, D, E. All right. So when I go to my custom SKU, I'll put 1-A. So instead of looking through an entire rack for one jacket, I can go, oh, that's in 1A. So I'll walk over to this little section of about this much clothes, and I just have to look through that for the right piece of apparel, and then I'm grabbing it. So my shipping, since I've already done all the back work on my custom SKUs, and Leroy can attest to this, when you go to ship, it's not, oh man, where's this? Where's this? Where's this? Well, I gotta dig through 75 pairs of shoes to find. Now, hopefully that's the right size. And also too, Leroy too, doesn't it help with inventory? So if you're looking, sometimes I'll do a shoe inventory and say, all right, I'll take column 1 through 5, and I'll sit there in my laptop and I can sort it. So when you have your custom SKUs, you can sort it on your main page with all your listings. You can bring that column in there and you can move it around. So I'll move that column like second, okay, and then I'll sort it, okay. Then you can sort it too. So then I have column 1, all the shoes in column 1. Then the next one's column 2. So then what I'll do is I'll say, all right, how many boxes do I have? All right, and then I'll look. All right, does that match the number? And then I'll go through one by one and be like, all right, check. Okay, all the dude, it takes me 2 minutes to do one column. So you're doing inventory really easy by having all these things in place. So and if anything gets moved around too, I have it already written on the box like Leroy does. What something might end up in a wrong column or a wrong box or something like that. But if you already have it labeled on your box or on your bag, you can be like, oh, okay, it's right here. Boom, done. So your mistakes are easily findable.
And that's why with me, people will say, why do you put your SKU in the picture? That ruins your heading picture. If they don't want to buy my item because there's a little white piece of paper that identifies it, they're not the customer for me. Yeah. I'm selling you tools. I'm not selling you a $7,000 Louis bag. So that makes it a lot easier. So if something does happen and I can't find it, I can look at that main picture, and it's right there in the picture what the weight was supposed to be, or the weight I put it out at, and what the custom SKU is. And I am going to tell you guys just for a previous show, and Eric hasn't told me to do this yet, but I'm going to do it, is I'm going to be doing a tape show. And this isn't a joke. I'm going to show you guys all my different tapes that I use, why I think certain tapes are good for certain applications on the way that I do my shipping. That will be coming up probably within the next couple of months.
Nice.
Hey, I will tell you, because like some of you may be sitting here watching this and saying, yeah, I didn't do that. that would be me. Like, I didn't do that when I started. These two are the organized one. Me and Tim have stuff all over the place everywhere. Tim, not through his own doing, because he has things at multiple locations. I'm just a slacker. I'll just tell you, like, when I started, I just began to put stuff. And so now when I sell something occasionally, I'm on the manhunt. And I'm like, okay, so where's this at? I actually, in my shed, have departments. So it's in this department. If it's electronics, it's in this department. If it's, Radio Shack, it's in this department. But I can tell you, like, doing it this way, here's something I'm working on myself. Obviously, for me to stop and do SKUs throughout my whole shed at right at 1,200 items would be brutal. So what I'm doing is moving forward as I list items. I'm trying to do that, and then as my inventory reduces, like I have took a section at a time. My niece and nephew actually came in and helped me, and we did one section and just moved forward, because eventually I know if it, Lord forbid, if something was to happen to one of us and we're laid up, by not having a custom SKU, it'd be a nightmare for someone to just
Correct.
Like, you made an eBay sale. Now where the heck is it? What do I do? Like that kind of thing. So I just encourage you, if you're not there, like if you've got your stuff disorganized and you're like, man, it's kind of it seems overwhelming, because it does for me. Just start where you're at and start working towards it. Like, that's really what you need to do.
Or just take a few hours or one day for your week to be like, all right, today I'm going to just do nothing but SKUs.
Yeah.
Okay. Because here's the thing. It will help you on the back end so much. I already know, like, I have like 6 items to ship out. I already know I'm going to go downstairs and find this stuff relatively easily.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to have to go on a manhunt going, where is this? Oh, do I have it? Did I sell it? Let me check my email. Let me check my Poshmark. Let me check this. I already know. Oh, it's nice. It's like, oh, it's right here. Okay, let me grab that.
There you go.
And
hey. Good.
and guys, I don't know if you guys were listening to me when I was rambling, but I explained to you guys how to do it freshly, even if you already have it, where it's not skewed. What did I say? I grab a bin a day. I check what's in the bin, and I fill in that bin with new inventory, and I take note of what was in the bin and make sure those numbers are good and change it. So if you grab a bin every day, one of your old bins every day, go through the inventory that's in it real quick. You probably only have 10 to 20 items in the bin anyway, and then put 5 new items in the bin with SKUs. You can redo your SKU system within about 4 months if you have 2,000 items. So, like, don't say, oh, well, I didn't do it. Like Eric said, now what do I do? No, just tomorrow you start. You grab a bin all the way in the corner, like try to start organized, and just go shelf by shelf, and boom, see what's in it, and add to that number. The reason I do that is I'm not wasting space in the warehouse. I'm constantly putting stuff back in those bins that stuff was taken out of, which is not wasting space.
Yeah. We interrupt today's broadcast for breaking news with Tim over the years.
I forgot my paper shuffle again. Dang it. Listen. Breaking news. eBay. This is eBay breaking news. This is sports card related. So eBay has decided that they are no longer going to allow everybody to sell break spots on eBay. For those of you that don't know what a break is a person will open up a sealed box of cards that has packs of cards in them. They sell slots by team or by player or by division. So every card that comes out, say you buy the Cincinnati Reds, and every card that comes out of Cincinnati Reds, you get for paying for that slot. This is a huge thing in the sports card industry, and it has been a staple of a lot of small businesses, especially people that are in the sports card world, whether they be a local card shop, an individual, or a small business with a few employees. So eBay just has decided to no longer allow everybody to just post those listings on eBay. So eBay sent out an email basically either saying you are pre-approved to do this or you can no longer do this after this certain date. There's no application. There's no, can I get in? Or I've been doing this for X amount of years. Why am I not approved? That's it. Bottom line, it's already all been decided by eBay. So this is a huge actual story, not just in the world of reselling, but the sports card world in general. A lot of small businesses are going to be affected by this. A lot of times when things like this happen, they say that they're doing it to protect their buyers, which is, once again, the seller gets left out in the wind here, which absolutely is, could be detrimental for a lot of people who rely on this method of selling on eBay. So stay tuned for any updates on that breaking news. But that is the breaking news for this week on Reseller Information Network.
Oh wait, hold on! I got a breaking news.
We got more breaking news.
I gotta shuffle my phone. I don't have papers. And I mean, it's not breaking news, but if you don't know, Mercari has officially added 4x6 labels to their shipping, so you can get now 4x6 labels for your label printer. So we've been asking, and they have delivered.
We'd like to welcome Mercari to the reselling world. Thanks, Mercari, for doing it. Yeah. That was always the stickler that everybody was like, oh my goodness, how do you print this label?
Right.
So we had somebody ask that question in the chat, and we definitely bring that out to you today because that you can now choose your label. So make sure that you check that out. Let me see if I can find the guy who was asking the question so we can make sure we put him up front. He's in here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Italian MN. Italian man. 36. There you go. Had first sale in Mercari. Hard time printing the label on the thermal printer. So he does ask a follow-up question that we'll go ahead, since we got you on the screen, sir. On Mercari, do you pick your box size?
Yes. So it's just like eBay. There's a few. You have to put your box size, your weight. Now the one thing with Mercari is, you can ship out, like, you can do buyer pays or seller pays. If you do seller pays, you can choose to do a Mercari label or your own label. But I usually do buyer pays, and they have different things you can choose from when you put in your box weight and your dimensions. Then it has another drop down box of the label cost to your buyer. So something like, you have to kind of go look at it. But, I ship a lot of stuff on Mercari with UPS because it seems like they have a good deal with UPS. So make sure you're putting in the correct weight and the correct box size that you're using. And the thing is too, that should be a general rule anyway. Like, I sold a vacuum cleaner the other day, but I made sure I already had a box for it. And sold it one day. So it's like, it's perfect because I already had the weight and the box measurement all ready to go. Because the worst thing could happen is, and I see a lot in the Facebook groups where someone goes, "Hey, I just sold this big car bumper with free shipping. How do I ship this for cheap?"
You don't.
You know what I'm saying? You sold it for $200. You're on the East Coast. They're on the West Coast. That might charge you $60 to $80 a cent.
More than that, it might. I
Or,
think you might.
You might be negative 50. You might be like,
it might cost more than that.
I'm freighting that thing.
Yeah, just make sure you're putting in the correct, your correct weight and dimensions, so you're not getting messed up like that. So
I will tell you, I never put in dimensions on Mercari when I'm doing my listings. Only weight only.
You should, because they have changed it, because UPS and FedEx now you don't want a UPS chargeback on that.
On Mercari?
Yeah. It's rare, but I've seen it. So, okay.
Ooh.
Or here's the thing. You don't want it coming up undeliverable because you didn't because when the post office delivers to them and they tell the buyer, hey, you owe us $12 more on the shipping. You know what I'm saying?
But why do they let me do that then?
I don't know. But how about this? Don't do that.
Hey, a good rule of thumb when it comes to measuring your items, every shipping insurance will tell you need 2 inches on every side of the item.
Yep.
So, like when you're taking your measurements, if you don't have a box, just definitely put 2 inches on every side of your item. Mm-hmm. And then once you find a box and you need to adjust it, but at least then you're semi-safe and you would be covered by insurance. So,
yep.
We're going to jump into this trending.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday, my wife, Josie, who I've been teaching how to golf, sent me a really interesting golf reel on Instagram. I want to make sure I shout out the guy whose Instagram it was. So his name is Dan's Golf World on Instagram. DANSGOLFWORLD. Dan's Golf World. And if you go down, he taught in his his fourth reel on his page at this time of recording. He talks about the U.S. Open. We talked a little bit about this in one of the previous Opens, how the previous episodes where the U.S. Open was happening. And when the U.S. Open happens, it's a good time to, like the Masters or anything else, it's a good time to list those items. So the gentleman who won the U.S. Open was a gentleman by the name of Wyndham Clark, okay? And the person who was leading the entire time before the last round was Ricky Fowler, okay? So, in short, the story goes, Ricky Fowler was playing a casual round of golf with his caddy, whose name is oh my gosh, what's the guy who has the TV show? Something about Ray Romano.
Ray Romano.
Okay, so his caddy's name is Ray Romano. Okay, go figure. So he's playing a round of golf with his caddy, and he notices his caddy has this really weird putter. It's a pretty big putter head, and he's got this, like, sometimes, I don't know if you guys sell golf clubs or not. I'm trying to do this with my hands without looking like I'm doing something else, but they have these really large grips on putters sometimes. So it was kind of like a taller putter with a big putter head and a large grip on it. He was like, what is that thing? And also it has like some crazy lead tape on it or whatever. So the Ricky Fowler uses the putter with it that his caddy had in his bag, and he fell in love with it. So he calls Odyssey. This is an Odyssey putter. He calls Odyssey. He says, hey, I need you to make me an exact replica of this putter. So they make him the exact replica of that putter, and they send it to him. Then a little while after that, he's playing around with the guy who eventually wins the U.S. Open, Wyndham Clark. And Wyndham Clark sees the putter, and he's like, yo, this putter, what is that? And he tries it out. He calls Odyssey, and he says, look, I need you to make me an exact replica of this putter. So these two guys who absolutely dominated the U.S. Open over the Father's Day weekend, both were using this putter. So the story got out, and people were losing their minds. Everybody's trying to find this putter. So the Google search analytics of this putter have skyrocketed through the roof. Not just that, but obviously Ricky Fowler's putter, Wyndham Clark's putter, this and that. So this guy in the Instagram story, he goes over those analytics. This guy is a golf guy. He has nothing to do with reselling. But immediately, being a reseller, my head took this to the reselling aspect of things. So I'm like, if everybody's looking for this putter, and apparently this putter is completely sold out everywhere. Originally, I believe the putter was produced in the year 2016. So this is 7 years ago. So it's almost impossible to find this putter. But believe it or not, the putters are definitely still out there, as we know as resellers, especially those of us who sell golf clubs, that this putter could be in your garage. It could be in your def pile. You could have already had it listed. If you had it listed, I guarantee you it's sold, and it's sold for a lot less than what it's selling for now. As of yesterday, today, I believe, today, 2 of these Odyssey, the name of the putter is the Odyssey Jailbird putter. Okay. I think I brought it up actually. Yeah, I think I did. Hopefully my mic doesn't do the jitter thing while I'm going over this. But let me go ahead and just share this really quick. So the putter is selling for crazy money, basically. So this is as the kids like to say in the reselling world, this is a bolo, which for those of you that don't know, stands for be on the lookout for, but doesn't make sense. What does bolo stand for?
Be on. They don't put a T in it, so it should actually be. So be on the lookout.
Does bolo even stand for anything?
The O is on.
Be on lookout.
On the lookout. Be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. Okay, that's weird, but all right.
The on the
so
is not a real word.
As the new kids say now, it's a must cop.
All right. We're gonna try and share this share screen. Okay. And we'll bring this up. Allow. Okay. And we'll bring this in and we'll go into the matrix. There we go. Matrix. And here we go. So I can't see him StreamYard right now. Is it showing it properly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, here we go. So you can see Odyssey Jailbird putter. And then they put in the 2 golfers I was telling you about in their title also. This one sold today. Today is the 27th. This one sold for $490 on auction, $415 on auction. This one, the left-handed ones are the ones that are selling for crazy money. Look at this. $800, $850. This one right here, you see US Open, they put in there. $500, $448, $500. Those all sold today. Yesterday, $305, $400, $450, $455, $650, $225, $425, $233. Look at this one. This one has the exact you see right here. It has the let me pull it up so you guys can see it. This was the
super
grip.
grip.
Yeah. So this is the grip, and this is the exact length, I believe, too, the 39-inch one. So this is almost the exact model right here.
Yes.
And look how much that sold for. $1,525. I think Odyssey Jailbird said, "Hey, Scotty Cameron, hold my beer." Okay, because this is the putter right now on the market. If you can find this putter, search all over your Facebook marketplaces, stuff like that. Look at here we go. $1,000, $800, $450, $1,100. I mean, listen, it is absolutely insane. This one, look at this one. It's a mini putter, red one. That even sold for $200. Jeez Louise. So yeah, so this is definitely something that is super popping right now. So if you guys can find this, I totally 1000% would recommend it. 258 sold in the last 90 days. I'd imagine, as you can see right here, all of that's probably recently. And then let's see what there's, just out of curiosity, there's only 73 listed right now. So if you can find it, I mean, however you want to go about selling it, I would just recommend putting in Ricky Fowler, Wyndham Clark, US Open. Obviously, those keywords will definitely help you in the search right now. But yeah, this is pretty insane how this is going down right now in the world of reselling and golf. It just goes to show you it's important to always keep your eye out for golfing products as well as reselling related information in day-to-day news. I think that's the most important thing when we talk about trending topics.
So back in April, this same club was selling for $118.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the bolo time of the day for sure.
And the thing is, don't sit on this club, because I promise you that Odyssey is already in production.
It'll come back to earth.
With these two guys' names on the club. I promise you. So, sooner or later, if you do find it, don't list it too high where you're going to push yourself away. Like I say, list it low and let it go. See ya.
Get it going. We'll jump into this last segment real quick. So here we go. When we get into our questions of the day, we've had let me see. I had one pulled up. I'm sorry, guys. Dude, where did it go? Did I answer it and it went away? Is that what happened?
Well,
oh well.
While you look for the question, I'll just tell everybody an update on my 7-11 points. Just give you a little bit of time here. Let's pull it up. Currently, right now, I'm sitting at 114,872 7-11 points. So we are creeping up to another milestone here on a day-to-day basis.
Nice. Oh,
So
while Eric's with that too, LSU. If you have any LSU gear, get it listed. They just won the. They just won the. This is from 1996, but they won the 2023 College World Series. So LSU fans love to celebrate. So maybe they'll be coming out of their celebration coma, when this drop, on Friday. So if you see that, get your LSU stuff listed.
So here is the question, and honestly, this is going to be a little bit of a segment for Cernock. So the question is C5 rows 3. It actually asks two questions. The first is, how do you list items that are weird or with no comps? I've found a few cool vintage items that I know someone would want, but how do they find it? And then the next one is, how do you title the weird stuff or the stuff with no comps? So, Cernock, we're going to let you dive into that as soon as I can get back to the right screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking, okay, so I love picking up weird stuff. I pick up, you talk about like I heard vintage. Dude, vintage weird stuff is the best. Okay. Because or when you look for something and you can't find comps, I get excited. Okay. Because here's the thing. When you do retail arbitrage, you've got to decide, okay, you're at a Ross and you're looking at the shoe. Well, is it going to be worth it? Because all these other people have the same shoe and the same size. What price am I buying it at versus what I'm selling it at? When you have a weird item that's almost like a one of one or hasn't been listed in 10 years, you've got something special, And a lot of people think, well, how am I going to get the right person to see it? Well, that's what we do every single day. We're fishing. Okay. You got to throw the lure out. You got to throw your bait out to get a fish. Okay. Because here's the thing, we would love it if we list an item and it sold that day and shipped it. List an item, sold that day and shipped it. Our lives would be a lot easier, but you got to find that right person that's looking for that or thinking about that. Because I do the same thing where I'll think of some obscure hip hop album that I worked on in the early 2000s, and I want to find that T-shirt that I made probably 150, 200 of that I had at one time, and I gave it away. These things just don't exist, out there. So don't get frustrated when you can't find comps. It's almost a blessing when you can't find comps, because now you're making your own price. Now you're going to be like, well, Chris, there's no comps. What am I going to list it at? What am I going to do? Listen, I understand. You take things that are similar to that item and to see what those sold for. And if yours has something a little more rare on it, then guess what? It might be a little bit more valuable, or you let the market decide. Now, I don't like doing auctions on eBay because, again, your weird stuff, it's got to take that right buyer to find it eventually. So if you do an auction on a 1950s Harley Davidson shirt, man, you might sell it for $200-$300, and you're like, wow, I did awesome. Okay. But they're not as weird as that, but or if you have something that's just like crazy that you've never seen and no one has, a lot of times I like to jack it up to the sky. Okay. I'll go over and beyond whatever comps or similar comps there are, and I will go way over that, because here's the thing. I accept offers. So maybe I can get an offer that I'm comfortable with, but I don't want to lowball it thinking like, you may not have a one of a kind, but you may have something that just doesn't show up on eBay all the time. There's vintage t-shirts. There's vintage hats that do not show up on eBay all the time. One of my favorite guys on TikTok, his name is, his channel's called Rat Tees, and he shows, listen, I sell vintage clothing. He shows some of these rap t-shirts from the early 90s and early 2000s that I've never seen, that I'm blown away. It's like, how do you put, he had a Rockefeller Records Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt shirt. He's like, dude, you might see this in someone's collection every 10 years. So it's, how do you put a price on something like that to where, you might, who's going to spend 10 grand for a t-shirt? You never know. So again, you list it like crazy, and then you come up with the price that you're comfortable with taking it. Okay. So that's what I like to do. And then kind of get that second part of the question, how do you list weird stuff? Well, you look at it, like, look at that. Eric's got a beautiful example.
That's what when you're sitting here talking, I was like, man, let's look into this, because I know we both looked at this today, and we know that this ain't out there. This is a Harley Davidson hat, more than likely late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s, definitely.
Is about what we're looking at. So when we look on, I'll just pull it up, and then we can, maybe you can talk through.
Yeah. So you find something like that. I've already looked for that hat out there currently right now on eBay comps. It's not out there unless we're not doing enough keywords. Now, to make sure you're doing enough research, don't put, Harley Davidson hat. I looked through 50 hats and didn't find it.
This is what I typed at the top. Can you see that?
Here, I'm going to add it to the stream. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what I typed in up top. All these keywords. Three stripe, Harley Davidson, mesh trucker, hat, even though it's not mesh, but USA, very rare, black and gold.
Yeah.
And these are the solds. Like, there's nothing.
There's nothing. Yeah.
This is the closest thing to it. This from design, but obviously this is a different rig. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you would pull, like, if this is the closest thing to it, you're going to sell.
Thinking, And go down a little bit. There's another one. Oh, there was another one right below it, too. I think there was another three striper right below it.
This one?
Yeah, $350. Okay, that's something that I would be. Hey, this is where I'm thinking that hat is around. Now, am I going to list it for $350? No, I might list it for $500 and see what happens, because you never know. You list it for $500, someone might go, "That's the hat I've been looking for. My dad had that hat. My grandpa had that hat." A crazy collector that has the other hats in his collection, but doesn't have that hat. Okay. they may spend collectors spend money. Okay, they will spend money on collectible items. So do not shy away from go. Oh well, who would pay $500 for a hat? There are people out there. Who's going to pay $2,000 for a Harley Davidson shirt? There's people out there.
So when they were asking about like how would you title this, obviously we're looking at keywords.
Yes.
This is not a museum hat, so we're taking that out, right?
Yeah.
So we're starting with vintage Harley Davidson. It's not from New York, Pennsylvania.
I would put 3, and like they did 3, and then type out 3 stripe.
Yep. So we've got
snapback trucker hat. So vintage Harley Davidson, 3 stripe snapback trucker hat. And then I would put made in the USA, because on 3 stripers, that the thing that you can always just type in 3 stripe trucker hat, go high to lowest, and see what people have put, but, and I would put made in the USA, and then maybe rare, black, gold, rare, something like that.
Would you put the eagle in there? Like that thing, the bird?
You could, yeah, that you definitely could. Or you could put like, different, Harley Davidson eagle logo, 3 stripe trucker hat made in the USA, something like that.
Embroidered?
It's not embroidered.
No, it's not embroidered, but maybe your color wouldn't be
black and gold.
Maybe your color may not be as important, because you already have an item specific for your color, and people can see with their eyes too, where it's like, oh, hey, that, they're looking for a vintage Harley Davidson, 3 stripe trucker hat. That's what they're looking for. They know it might be black or red or gold or whatever. They're just looking for that. So I think that's a really good title. I would take out the quotation marks though.
Would you put snapback in there, or would you, if there's probably not room
for something like this? It's a true collector is going to find it using those words right there. Okay. I might put rare just to end it out, and I would do it. I would do the title just like that. You got to think about what people are going to be searching for. So, I see a lot of nonsense words in people's title that I'm like, who's searching for that? Who's searching for, certain things. So that's exactly how I would list it. Looks like you already have all of your, item specifics in there already. That's nice. But yeah, so, and then something like that, I would just, take really good pictures, and for a hat like that too, I would be, there's certain hats that I'm scared to touch.
Yeah. Okay? That hat I'm scared to touch.
That, if you watch Hat Camp last Tuesday, we talk about how, certain items are cleanable, maybe not restorable, but something like that, that's a collector's piece. So I would definitely just sell as is. Someone's not gonna necessarily, wear the hat. They might put that up on their mantle. They might have a great Harley Davidson collection, and that might be something that they would put on your mantle. Oh, by the way, Eric, when you're done with that listing, send it to me, because I'll send it to my guy that bought the shirt from me. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm like, hey, we found a rare, Harley Davidson trucker hat. He's a Harley Davidson collector in New York. So you never know what, he might be like, yeah, I'll pull the trigger on that.
and you guys had mentioned like who would buy stuff like that. Eric and I can both admit to this. Is a lot of you guys don't realize that a lot of these they make movies and they make TV shows every day, and they're trying to recreate something. These prop departments have a big budget, and if they need something, they're going to eBay.
Yeah,
that's where they're going to go look for their stuff. They're going to look for somebody that's going to sell it sort of quick. I probably send out, it's been about 2 or 3 times a year. I'll send something that will say Hollywood or Atlanta, and it will say props department.
Yep.
And I know that
Yeah.
it's going on a movie.
I actually saw my double cola on the new Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Like I was watching for it because I actually messaged the buyer. I was like, "Hey, what show is this on?" Like, so I can keep my eye
They
on.
don't respond. They didn't respond to me.
Yeah, so she gave it to me. It was it's funny. The label was actually to the lady who was the star of my 600-pound life. Is what the label went to. But like when they sent it, so then like the spring break episode of the Wonder Years actually had him sitting in there drinking double cola. I'm like, yeah, that's cool because that's come from me because I sent him like 4 of those reads. So it is interesting. But like he said, I mean, when you talk about collectible items like Harley Davidson, I mean, has been around forever. Obviously, Cernock sold that T-shirt at like $2,500. So there are guys out there that, man, they've got a Harley like little mini museum at their house, and those guys are like they're looking for those pieces that nobody else has. So when you talk about vintage items, and hey, I can't find it out there, just like Cernock said, dude, that should get you fired up. Like that should get you like, hey, I've got something that ain't out there. Like when I put rare on my listing, that's real. It's not rare and there's 25 other listings. It's rare and that's it.
That's the worst thing when I have a hat and I'm like, oh, this is a really cool hat, and I comp it, and then there's like 30 listings of the same hat. I'm like, oh man. But
rare.
When I comp it and nothing comes up, and then I comp it and I use another few keywords, nothing comes up. Then I start Google imaging it. Nothing comes up. I just straight up Google it. Nothing comes up. Send it to Tim to Worthpoint it. Nah, bro, nothing comes up. Then that's when I start getting excited because it's like this is something that hasn't been around or hasn't really surfaced yet. So yeah, and that's where I'll even for something like that I'll even do more in-depth research rather than just like, oh, let's just get it up and list it. I'll do some more added research because that research though that you do may elevate the price. You might find a year that was made. You might find, something very similar so you can give it more of a story.
Well, this guy, the only thing I'm going to do is stuff it. Like I am going to stuff the inside. So when I take my pictures out a little bit, but I'm not putting no cleaning on it. That's for sure. Cause I'm scared. I'm nervous.
Yeah. Like I said, there's certain hats that for that, I would love to do a foam replacement, but I'd be scared. You know what I'm saying? Because like
you saw the other hats that were in that same location. This is made of a little bit. This is that polyester, but man, I mean, I'm afraid I'd bust a stitch on it. Just
yep. And then yeah. So you got to be very careful, or you just leave it and sell it as is. I think
that's what it is,
especially for something Harley of that age. It's again, you're going to sell it to collector, not for someone to wear it.
Yeah,
that's one of those things.
Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully that answers the question. But if you want a follow-up question, hey, leave it under this video, and maybe we'll do a follow-up to it.
As always, guys, if you are watching our episodes and you want a way to support the channel, we all have our stores down below. We also have links for items that we use. I will tell you, all the links that you see down below are things that we use. Like so, it's if you're going in looking for things, whether it be a service or whether it be, you're just looking for an item that we use that we bought on Amazon or whatever. The links down below are a way you can help support the channel, and also just being a subscriber and watching our videos. We appreciate y'all so much doing that. I was hoping that Leroy would come back so we could exit this thing. We'll go ahead and say our goodbyes if you don't make it back. On behalf of Leroy, we thank you very much for watching this show. Sarah night.
Hey. There we go.
Ring the bell.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Hey, thanks for everyone that came by Hat Camp last Tuesday. I know everyone from the RIN Reseller Information Network had a great time doing that. Hopefully y'all learned something. Hopefully y'all learned something this episode. Again, we're all about just giving back and just giving the knowledge out there. Right now it's free. Take it. Okay. We're giving out free knowledge. Go take it. Here you go. So we're doing that for you because we know how great of a reselling experience it can be for your family, for your life, and everything like that. So that's why we want to help out as many people as we can. So, but in order for us to help you, help us with those comments down below, questions, comments, things that maybe we haven't talked about, or maybe you haven't watched every episode of RIN and maybe something has changed where we can rehash that, or something that we've gone in our reselling journey that we can be like, hey, you know what? We were doing it this way, but now we're doing it this way. So things are always evolving. We are always adapting. So we want you to adapt with us in our reselling journey. So like I said, keep those comments and questions coming.
Tim, take us out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Leroy. Sorry you couldn't be here to say goodbye, but he is here with us in virtual spirits. So we want to thank everybody once again for joining us for another edition of the Reseller Information Network. Keep those questions, keep those comments coming. Without those, we don't have as much direction as you think we do. But we appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share, comment, and hit those thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tell a friend about RIN Reseller Information Network.